This hour, we lead off with breaking news out of the Middle East and a story with difficult and heart-wrenching images and details. This is a day Israelis have long been dreading. 4 more hostages have come home from Gaza after more than 500 days, but sadly, all 4 died in captivity. This was the scene earlier in Khan Yunis in southern Gaza. Hamas fighters delivering the black coffins to Red Cross personnel, all seemingly the same size, even though, according to Hamas, the bodies include those of 2 young children, as well as their mother. Their capture, one of the symbols of the horror of the October 7th, 2023 attack. This weekend, Israel is expected to release hundreds of Palestinian prisoners as part of the ceasefire agreement. In these images, a salute from Israeli soldiers as the convoy of vehicles carrying the coffins crossed the border from Gaza. And people lined the route all the way to a forensic laboratory in the Tel Aviv area, where DNA tests will be carried out to officially identify the hostages and to pinpoint how they died. This was a scene in Tel Aviv's Hostage Square a short time ago. Hundreds of people turning out there to wave Israeli flags as their show of sorrow and solidarity on a difficult day. Israel's President Isaac Herzog posted online, "The hearts of an entire nation lie in tatters." And again, as you see, the images of people in Tel Aviv Square. Now, let's bring in Sasha Petrusek, who leads off our coverage live in Jerusalem this morning. And Sasha, tell us some of the more detail as what has been unfolding today as those coffins are returned to Israel.
Yeah, Heather, today was a day, as some people here put it, that their hope died a little bit, because even though we have been seeing a regular schedule of hostages being released, live hostages, some of them looking better than others, but still coming home. We've seen this for weeks and weeks now, but this is the first time that there was a formal handover of 4 bodies of those who did not survive. And in particular, the spotlight is on this young family, a 32-year-old mother, Shiri Bibas, and her 2 young sons, 4-year-old Ariel and 9-month-old Kfir. That's how old they were when they were kidnapped from the Nir Oz kibbutz, which is right along the border with Gaza, along with one of their neighbors, Oded Lifshitz, who was also taken on that day and did not survive. His body was also returned today. But really the focus has been on this young family and on these 2 youngest hostages who, we were hearing that the family was, the family outside there was hoping against hope, even as recently as a couple of days ago, when the announcement was made that these bodies were going to be returned, that there was a mistake, that they would in fact come out alive, or that it wasn't going to be them. That doesn't seem to be the case right now. And among those who is mourning is the father of the 2 young boys, the husband of the woman who was killed. He was released almost 3 weeks ago alive, but obviously going through a great deal right now. We went and talked to people on the streets of Jerusalem earlier today. This is how they were watching and feeling what was going on today.
No one will ever be able to forget the horror in her eyes, the look in her eyes, holding her 2 babies and just going for the unknown with, you can't really grasp it.
I'm feeling that we have a clock that is ticking for everyone that's left still in there. All of the dead that are still being held by Hamas. I think we need to get them out of there as soon as possible.
So a lot of worry, a lot of emotion being felt here in Israel. We also did talk to some of the people, heard from some of the people in Gaza about all of this. Of course, they have been going through a great deal as well. There's also been many Palestinian children who died during all of this fighting over the last 16 months. But as far as Israel is concerned, the focus today is on this particular family, and it's been personified. People have been following what's been going on and remember seeing them with video that was captured inside Gaza at one point, of them being moved from one place to another, and really that's been seared into people's memories. Heather?
Sasha, again, just coming back to the live pictures that we're getting, this is the scene just in front of the forensic laboratory where the process is underway to formally identify the four and the bodies that have been returned. And again, as we've said, this is the first time that hostages, their bodies have been released to Israel as part of the phase 1 of the ceasefire. On Saturday, another milestone, we understand there are going to be more of the hostages who are still alive returned. So what is the information we have on Saturday? And also, I'm wondering, Sasha, about the negotiations for phase 2 of the ceasefire. Where do talks stand on that?
Right, so this is all part of phase 1 of the ceasefire, which has been shaky but moving along. The last 6 living hostages from that phase will be released on Saturday, at least that's what the schedule is. And then we are expecting 4 more coffins, 4 more bodies to be released next Thursday, and that will be the end of phase 1. 33 hostages returned, part of that negotiated agreement. Now, what hasn't really been negotiated is what happens after this. And there are 59 more hostages who will remain after all of this in Gaza, some of them alive, some of them not alive. We're not sure how many have survived these last 16 months and how many will be coming home either alive or in the kind of ceremony we saw today. Those negotiations have been going much more slowly. It has been very, very arduous. A lot of doubt here in Israel that the government here and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu really wants to get a ceasefire deal continued, because that would mean that Israel would have to effectively say the war is over and pull out all of its troops from Gaza, which is something many politicians here do not want to do. On the other hand, many in Israel want the hostages back and are saying today that unless that second phase is signed, there won't be more releases. And in fact, those 59 may all suffer the same sort of fate that the 4 today did. So a lot of concern here, a lot of emotion, and it's all focused really today on that young family. Heather?
Sasha, thank you very much. From Jerusalem this morning, Sasha Petrusik.